Ladies and gentlemen, please let me introduce you to Mike John Paul, guys. So, Mike, please kindly introduce yourself and let them know what it is that you do.
The name of my business is Chez Jean Paul. So it is an LLC that I've actually created down here in the States.
Can you let us know a little bit about your background?
I'm from Haitian descent. However, I grew up in New York. Finished high school down in Florida. Also went to university. I actually got a culinary degree, along with a business management degree as well. You know, I'm glad that I went first and foremost to be able to connect with you today and express my passion and new venture that I'm just starting in life right now.
What was it like for you growing up?
As a kid, something in the back of my head, in my drive, in the way that I think, always had it in mind, like I wanted to be something. I wanted to be someone. And so I just wanted to better myself personally, and knowing that sky is the limit. And I wanted to be able to kind of venture off from what was around me and just making life my own.
Would you be able to share with me what were some of the things you had to overcome being a young youth growing up in Brooklyn, New York?
There were moments that, you know, I don't even want to talk about on this live, but there were moments that things were very, very challenging. But I think it's just your mindset. And I think that it was extremely important for me to know that there's going to be better days. And so thank God that I was able to survive those moments. I have a passion, right? And that's how this company that I birthed a few weeks ago came about. And so for those of you who are just meeting me for the first time doing this live, it's kind of like, you know, give you a backstory. So a few years ago, I would say about 3-4 years ago, I have decided to go to Ghana, Africa. My mind was blown by the ideology that we had embedded or stamped in our minds as a child. So it was completely different. It was 180-degree different, where people are thriving. The infrastructure are way advanced than what I thought it would have been. And I laugh about this. I see more Benzes in Ghana than I've seen in Miami. When I got to Ghana, there was an overwhelming feeling. Guys, I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. In addition to the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you know, the warm welcome that, you know, people who don't even know me was just giving me. And so just a lot of things that were happening. And I just wanted to be able to not only see myself living here, but how can I help? And so came up with a couple of business ideas and just putting them into motion right now.
Okay. Would you say that feeling was a feeling of being at home?
Oh my goodness. I think you took the word right out of my mouth. Yes. Not only it was just a feeling being at home, it was like I belong here. And I did a lot of research and tried to establish citizenship or some sort of residency. I went through the roadblocks and the dead ends and things of that nature. And so because of that experience in itself, you know, the idea came and says, you know what, how can I help the next person? You know what I mean? And that's why, again, I birthed this company. Again, it's Chez Jean Paul. You guys can check the website out. It's ChezJeanPaulLLC.com. And what I do, guys, is I help those who are diasporas, whether you're in America, you're in Europe, wherever in the world, that you want to come down to Ghana, whether it's just a visit or if you want to transition to moving there, I am that person that you can reach out to.
What I do want to know, Mike, want to know, how did your journey as an entrepreneur begin?
Well, it actually started here in America. Just the idea of owning my own thing and making my own money. Yeah.
Would you say from your childhood growing up, you always had that business mentality?
Yes, I definitely did. That's for sure.
Bridging people to Africa. What inspired the name?
Just being that middleman, to being able to help those who need that assistance that I didn't have, that I had to do everything on my own, with the assistance of some locals. But that's how that name came about.
When it came to you trying to get your citizenship and everything established out there, how difficult was it for you?
At the time when I went for the first time, I just knew some close friends that I've known for years, but they didn't have connections like that. Everyone was just, hey, no, we don't do it here. No, we don't do it there. And just for you, for the audience to also know this too, see, Ghana created this new program back in 2019. It's called the Beyond the Return, right? And so I was in Ghana 2022 or 2023. And so I knew about the Beyond the Return. So I got excited about that program. What it is a 10-year program that came about in which they're actually helping other diasporas like myself to be able to help and guide and also be successful in getting their citizenship. It's kind of like a welcome back home type of thing, right? Once that was done and I heard about it, that was the route that I intended to go. However, again, we're in Ghana, and so there was a lot of roadblocks, a lot of dead ends that I've actually met, unfortunately, and went through that. So it took me some time.
Beautiful. What inspired you to create this platform?
I think not only the challenges that I faced, but I am seeing it's a huge movement right now. It's a huge movement. I see a lot of people are not only going to Ghana or Africa, but also are asking questions, right? Because with anything and everything, it starts with questions, it starts with the mind, right? And then we put forth the action. So when I'm realizing that there's a true movement that's happening.
You did mention earlier, you said it was quite difficult and it took you about 3 years. So my question to you is, under your, let's say an average person came to under your company, wanted to use your company to get citizenship, what would you say the average time will take for them?
There isn't really a timing period. It's just more about the new policies and the regulations that's going to be taking place in the near future. Then we can, then we'll know at that time.
You mentioned having a driver, people to clean for you. It sounds like when you go out there, you're living a lavish life. Is that something that an average person will be able to go out there and be able to afford?
I think that if you are making USD, you can live in Ghana with no problem. The most expensive thing is your flight.
Okay. So what is the average cost of living out there?
A local can probably get 1,000 CDs to 2,000 CDs a month. So you divide that by 15.5, because it's 15 and a half CDs equaling to $1 US, right? I can't really think. So give and take $150 a month. And so anything 500 USD a month in terms of renting and above, you're living lavish. You have a security guard, you're a gated community, you live in a nice area, and so on and so forth. And as far as foods are concerned, I mean, it ranges, again, as I mentioned earlier, you can live $10 to $15 a day USD to be able to get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I love that. What values are at the heart of your company? And how do you live them out day to day?
So the value that I uphold with this company and just life as a whole is caring for others and making sure I'm doing the right thing as well.
I love that. So can you describe what your platform does and how it supports people through Guinean citizenship process?
So just the way that I want this to be is to hold your hand, rest assured that I have your best interest, knowing that I will get things done, and making sure that by any means necessary, we will get it done.
Love that. What are the most common challenges people face during this process, and how does your company help overcome them?
So impatience, I can say, definitely is one of those things. Helping people that wants to get something done tomorrow, it's not going to happen. And so having to, again, that word reassurance, right? Reassuring them to be able to listen, it's going to take some time. So let's just be patient, right? It's extremely important. And then from my end, I will be persistent, right? And so that way we can merge together and marry this idea and being able to get things done.
Let's say if I went out there tomorrow, other than patience, that I would have to face when trying to get citizenship.
I think that one of the challenges, because I faced that as well. So you get into you drive 30, 45 minutes to one department or one office, because this is where someone guided you to go, and you get there, you're excited, you think things are going to be done, and that's the wrong office. Then they send you somewhere else. and you go there, you're like, okay, that person told me this, so this is where it's at. You get there, it's not there. Then you go to a third place, and that third place never heard of what you're asking about, right? But you've already went to two places that kind of guided you, right? So it's just all about understanding that realm. And that is why with my business role that I want to eliminate that for you, right? So that way I do all of that work. And again, we're being there for the past, off and on for the past 3 years, and collectively about almost a year that I've been there. I know people now, right? And so I'm able to reach out just so one phone call and being able to say, hey, this is what I need. Can we get this done? What's the ETA on that? And that way I can relay that message back to you.
So when you say holding hands, right? And then you mentioned, reaching out to people and getting the job done. Are you physically doing the footwork for them, or are you finding the information or knowing the information and you're just giving them the information and saying, go here? Do you
Great
go
question.
with them to the location? How are you holding their hand exactly?
Great question. So that opens the door for various situations, right? So you could be in America, right? And you need business registration or work permit or residency. I will get that process started for you. Whatever it needs that you need to fill out will be sent to you electronically. You fill it out, you get it done. Fees, whatever it is, will be paid, of course, by you. And of course, I charge a fee as well. So once that is done, then we'll be able to go ahead and start that where we get the ball rolling in that aspect. And holding your hands is through that process, right? So the initiative is to fill out the form, getting it done in a timely manner, sending it back to me. I then deliver it to them, to my peoples there. Once they get that ball rolling, they'll let me know an estimated time how long that's going to take. And I go again. It's just being the middleman, and I go back to, so the leg work will be done by me. So that's why the holding of the hands idea or come about. So that's just pretty much what it will be.
How do you help users not only gain citizenship, but also connect with Guinean culture, history, and its community?
Great question. That's an amazing question. So one of the things that I also do, I partner with tour guides, right? Because I think it's extremely important, guys, to be able to know the history.
Yes.
What we are taught in America, Charlie, guys, it's a different world. And so when Roll asked this question, it kind of gave me goosebumps because I'm thrilled and excited about it, because I want you to know the history. I want you to see the things that we've never seen when we're in America. So it's extremely important that we get the tour guides, we go to the castles, right? This is where we were held as slaves, right? You will see everything, the dungeon, you will see where they kept us, you would see where they put us under the ground, you would see all of these things, even that door, which is called the door of no return, sorry. And that door is an actual, and I don't want to, spill the beans, but you'll see that door and you'll know what that door means when you're there. So it is extremely important. It's very touching. And so I think that aspect of going to Ghana, whether it's just to visit or wanting to live there, you need to experience that.
Let's get a little bit more into the business and operation and your strategy for it. Is your platform for profit or nonprofit, and how is it sustained?
So it is for profit, but currently it's just all about getting the word out rather, being exposed. And I've helped some people, right? And so on my YouTube channel, which I launched recently, my first episode, I actually had one of my friends who I hosted when he came to Ghana. He did the tour and everything else with a tour guide, right? And then I took him out of that realm and showed them 2 to 3 days of what the locals do. And so you guys should definitely check out that YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Jigga Vision, JIGGAVISION. And you guys will see that interviews with them. I said earlier, there are other companies or organization that does this, but they're not doing it like me. Why? Because of the cost that you would have to pay them and the cost you paying me is going to be completely different, right? And so I don't charge so much to do anything that I'm doing. Everything's going to be based on the services that you're in need of.
So for other companies that have the same idea as you or in business for years, what sets you apart from them, the competition?
I think a couple of things. I've also been in rooms where those organizations were there, and I'm not taking anything away from them. However, I see that there's a lot of community being built within that organization. So in my mind, I think to myself, I'm like, if you're leaving one place to go to another, why are we staying with the same people that we left that place prior to join them to be in that new place? So I started thinking to myself, I said, why not branch off and being part of the local, adjusting to their life, adjusting and having the ability to be open-minded and to understand the culture versus coming into an organization that there's African Americans that's already there and we're living kind of similar to how we were living in America. And for me, I felt like there's a disconnect when you do that, because then you're not allowing or bringing in or welcoming the locals. You're kind of pushing them away and just building your own community. And so I think that's one difference, because while I'm doing this, it's not an organization. I'm doing this solely just by myself, individually, and I'm utilizing my network, right? They're helping me and I'm helping them. And so once we do connect, then you'll be able to have that connection forever. And whatever you choose to do with it, that's on you. But you're not having to pay me monthly. You're not having to pay me yearly to say you're a part of this organization. You understand? And so whatever assistance that you may need, even after I help you, whatever it is that you may need, because you are in a new place, you are in a place that you've never been before. And so that's how I'm able to help. So I think that in itself is drastic. And I think that in itself is something that we need to look at ourselves and say, you know what, how are we doing this? Do we want to go in and just join a group, or we want to do this where we can adapt and live in that environment?
What role does technology play in delivering your services, and how do you ensure it's accessible to all users?
I think without technology, I wouldn't be able to go anywhere, right? Because look at this right now. We have the technology to be able to converse this moment, to talk about this business. So technology plays a huge role, right? Because not only that I'm able to talk to people in America, I can talk to people in Europe, I can talk to people also who's in Ghana right now who may need my services, because I've gotten a lot of people reaching out to me from Ghana. They're not Ghanaians, they're Americans reaching out to me. So technology plays a huge role. Without it, I wouldn't be able to be successful. So that's what's amazing about technology. I can promote, I can send a message out to everywhere in the world, and people are able to get back to me.
Earlier, you mentioned, helping Black people. What about white, Asian? Will you be able to assist them too if they wanted to get Guinean citizenship?
That is an amazing question. And I think that is why my slogan is bridging people to Africa. So it's not bridging Black people. It's not a specific race. It's people. So whether you're Asian, whether you're from Europe, whether you're from the U.S., no matter what nationality you are, I am here to assist. The reason why I emphasize on Black, because we have the notion of not traveling to Africa. So I emphasize on us because we have this idea that you're sitting down in Africa at a restaurant, a lion just comes and snatch you and kill you or eat you up, right? Mm-hmm. That's the mindset. And I say this because I too was like that once upon a time, right? I just thought I had ignorant ideas and thoughts about Africa. So that's why I kind of emphasize on Black, but everyone is welcome. In fact, right after my ceremony, there were many other cultures from Chinese, Europeans and stuff like that also gained their citizenship immediately after my ceremony. So everyone's welcome.
I love that. And thank you for clearing that up. Can you share a success story from your platform that particularly moved you?
Just going back to my friend, I think hosting him, and I think that was one of the interesting parts, because we live in America for the most part, and he was able to host me, and he was able to bring me in, 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 and he was we pretty much have everything in our hands, right? You know, in a touch of a button, we can get anything and everything. Of course, our lounge and club scenes is valid as well out here. But when you take someone who doesn't have an expectation of things, right? Who may not have any expectation, but now you take them and you show them, hey, this is what this world is. This is what life here is. And going back to my friend, that example where I posted him for a couple of days, I remember this like it was yesterday. The day he was leaving, he attempted to do everything to miss his flight. But he had to go back home. He had family back home, so he could stay. But I remember him was like, man, how can I miss my flight? Because he enjoyed not only just being my friend and allowing me to host him and had the privilege to host him, but the things that I was able to show him. All right. And so we were able to see the locals, we were able to see those things. And I think that right there puts a smile on my face. And so, whether you're a friend, whether you're somebody that I'm meeting for the first time, I feel like we're all family, right? And so I will show you a great time. I will show you the right people and connect you to the right people. And just kind of going back to him. And again, if you guys check out my YouTube channel, you will see he's an artist in America. He travels throughout the world and performs. And so I was able to actually connect him with a club owner that they were able to connect, exchange numbers. And he's already been told when you do come back, he'll have the stage and he can do his thing. And so that's all I'm about. I'm about helping and providing those type of assistance, regardless of who you are and where you come from.
Thank you for sharing that, Mike. If you are just walking in, welcome to Standing on Business. We are currently interviewing Mike John Paul, the business owner of Ches John Paul, where he is bridging people to Africa, guys. So if you guys are interested in wanting to get citizenship in Africa, he is the man to see. Okay. With that being said, what personal experience have shaped you and how you approach leadership in business?
I just beating dead ends and roadblocks. I'm very persistent. And one of the things that I would say God has blessed me with is when I have my mind set on something, to just go after it and get it. And I think that by doing that, it brings some types of people in my life to see, man, this guy's all about his business. While I'm in Ghana, every time, wherever I go, people are gravitated to me, my aura, my personality, just to sit down and just out of nowhere just have conversations with me. Kind of like, we're just seeing where I'm at and seeing what it is that I'm doing in Ghana and so on and so forth. So I think that just having that alone and then also seeing people seeing my personality, understanding that I'm a very caring person, integrity is extremely important for me, ethics and all of that. And so I think that also, and not only that, I partner with people. So people who work for me, I have employees in Ghana as well. Actually, I have employees in Africa, and even in Kenya. I have employees that work for me to this day. And so I don't believe in me being a boss. I believe in partnering with you and we get the job done. And so as a leader, I think that's extremely important. I don't walk around like I'm bigger than anybody. No, I'm not. Because just the same way I got it is the same way it can be taken away. And so it's extremely important for me to know that it's all about having open conversations with my employees. It's about partnering with them, doing things and encouraging them as well, because sometimes that's all they need. They need that push. Right. And so I do that as well to help them. And also they help me as well. All the time, even with my posts, sometimes I'll get so my social media manager, she actually resides in Kenya because I was in Kenya as well for some time. And so she'll reach out to me and she'll say, hey, I think next time you do this, just add that to it. And my response is, got it, noted, I got you. I'll work on it next time. And so that's what it's about. It's about, partnering and working with one another. I think that's what makes a great leader.
Let's talk the language. I know you mentioned someone your partner in Kenya. So what is the language you picked up on from being out there?
You got me. So it's challenging. It is challenging. So in Ghana, there's over 100 languages. They don't like the word dialect because there's truly languages, because there's a lot of tribes out there, and so each and every one of them use different languages. So there's over 100, but the most popular ones is Tree, around in Accra where I normally stay, and there's other ones as well, Ga and stuff like that. Now, if they're having a conversation and they're talking about me, I would never know. So I haven't picked up on it much. I think that's something in the future that I may want to do, maybe a class here and there to be able to maybe have a few conversations, a few sentences. But it is challenging, and Kenya speaks a whole different language, and they have a different accent than Ghana. So the accent in Kenya is very profounding. It's noticeable, and but you work with it. As you're traveling and you're hearing these things, you get accustomed to it and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I haven't picked up anything yet. What I can say this though, Ro, that they also in Ghana they speak Pidgin. So Pidgin is like a slang. The older heads, those who are 50 and above, I don't think they speak that. So it's kind of like for the younger crowd. And Pidgin is like, there's a little bit of English in it, right? I think they speak that for others not to know what they're saying, but I can grasp a few words and understanding from that.
Got you. What has this journey taught you about identity, belonging, or entrepreneurship?
I can start off with saying this. Outside of let's just take the business and entrepreneurship out for a second. This journey has taught me a lot about myself. This journey had made me realize that it don't matter how old you are, you can adjust. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can make changes in your life. No matter how old you are, you can adapt. You can be warm, right? And have that brotherhood, that sisterhood. I think it's extremely, extremely important. And that was during my journey, and of course my journey is still in existence.
Right.
That's one of those things that I realized. I was not a patient person at all, and I was able to build patience with my journey in Ghana. And so now to transition to now the business side and the entrepreneurship aspect, I think that it has helped me to understand people more. And with understanding people and knowing how to work with people and being patient, because they work on their own time, you understand? And so having that ideology and then being able to make those adjustments has helped me tremendously. And that's why I think that this is going to go for a long time, because it's one of those things, man. I've made the adjustments and it's permanent. It's going to be permanent.
Do you plan to expand this work to include other African nations?
Absolutely. That is the goal. That is the idea. And what I've been looking at, I went to like 5 other African countries. If I'm not mistaken, I went to Ethiopia, South Africa, Zanzibar, Kenya. One more, and I don't recall, but I went to those places not only just to visit, but to kind of get a feel and a vibe, right? And I've noticed that Kenya is extremely interesting to a point where I'm like, hey, maybe I may move to Kenya. So, it's a bit more, to be quite frank, it's a bit more advanced than Ghana. The infrastructure, the technology, and everything else, and so I'm seeing that, and so I'm touching these countries just so that I can adapt, understanding what's going on there as well, so that I can actually bring my company and being able to help others. And in every single country that I've mentioned, I've also started networking as well, and being able to keep my ears to the street on those countries.
Love that. Where do you see your business in 5 years from now?
I see my business at a point where people know me and people trust me, and because of those things, the business is still going, it's still active, and people will not only recognize me, but people will be able to reach out to me for their needs. And so, and that's one of those things. I don't want to say thriving. I don't want to say, because what's thriving, right? To me, it's not about thriving. To me, it's about helping. So whatever comes with that, I appreciate it, and I'm thankful for it. But this ultimately role, like when I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart, is just helping people. You understand? I've gone routes where I was gonna join an organization, and the things I found out, I was like, it's not for me. And so I want to give people that opportunity to say, okay, you know what? Let me go this route. And so 5 years from now, I want to see the business, it's still active, it's still going. I'm still going to have that passion of helping people and being able to get people whatever services that they're in need of.
What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who want to create a social impact?
Man, listen, I think that it's imperative that whatever God-given talent you have, to start tapping into it. A lot of the times, as of late, in the past few months, I've been listening to motivational speeches and stuff. And I think that in itself, like I would wake up from time to time in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I put one on and I would listen to it. And I think it has helped me to understand life. It has helped me to understand business. It has helped me to understand entrepreneurship at another level. As I mentioned before, I've had companies prior to this, but now I'm on a different level. And so I hope that for those of you who are listening, and whatever God-given talent you may have, whether it be book smart, whether it be being good with numbers, or whatever the case may be, save money, start your business, put forth the work. It's not going to be easy, because when this is yours, you have to spend money before you see money, right? And so just dive into whatever it is that you love. Don't just do things because somebody else is doing it. Don't just do things because somebody else told you to do it. Do what you're passionate about and what you love the most, because then it's not going to be a work. It's not going to be a job. It's going to be just something you're passionate about doing.
What skills do you believe are essential in today's business environment?
You have to have human-to-human interaction. I think being warm, being accepting of others' opinion, being accepting of people's culture. So I think because we kind of lost that, throughout the years because of technology. So although technology has replaced a lot of the things that we used to do 10, 15, 20 years ago, I think we need to get back to that feel fine, I call it, you know what I mean? Where you're feeling one another, you're having conversations, you're open, you're respecting others' opinions, you're respecting others' perspective and point of view, just as they should yours. And so once you have that human-to-human interaction, being real, not only with yourself, but with others, being trustworthy, showing people that you do what you say you're going to do. I think those are extremely important.
Love that. What does standing on business means to you personally?
I think standing on business for me, it's about what you say you're going to do and that you're going to do it, that you get it done. By any means necessary. And when I say by any means necessary, I'm not saying shortcut it. I'm not saying being dishonest. All of that was with all integrity, being honest and being able to do things the right way, but getting things done. If I make a promise to you, make sure that promise is actually handled, and making sure that we get things the way that we say we're going to do. So standing on business for me. Now, it's also a personal thing as well, because I think it's extremely important. Because a lot of times we say that term or that word or that phrase, and it's just to say it, right? But it's extremely important because it holds value. And so based on your action, based on your integrity and your ethic, your work ethic, and your deadlines and things like that, I think that's what standing on business means.
Love that. Well explained too. What final message do you want to leave with our audience about the power of community in business?
Well, guys, I think when it comes to community and business, I think that is extremely important more than ever. We know what's going on in the world. We know what's going on in the country, right? And this is a perfect time to build a community, right? And building a community doesn't mean we're just one kind. No, it's all of us, right? Because we're all human beings, we're all brothers and sisters, regardless of your color, your skin, your race, whatever. So it's building that community to come together, to being able to establish and having something to live for, having something to live for tomorrow, as I should say. And then with that community, finding a way that you can build for tomorrow so you can leave for those that's coming behind you. And so I think those are very, very, very important. We are at a sensitive moment and a sensitive time in the world where, you know, people are at the edge of their seats, don't know what tomorrow holds, don't know what tomorrow will bring. And this is very, very important. This is the time to pivot to your entrepreneurship mindset, right? This is the time to pivot because, you know, nothing is guaranteed tomorrow anymore.
How can people connect with you and support Bridging People to Africa?
Right now, guys, we can go just going to my website, ShayJeanPaulLLC.com. Reach out to me. There's also a chat. You can, if you don't want to do the consultation, you can even chat with me on the website. I get back to you within 24 hours. And having that conversation, we have an open conversation, open communication. We'll talk things out and whatever it may be. Again, and I'm going to say this with sincereness of my heart. Whether you want to or don't want to live in Africa, that's fine. But I think you should visit one country in Africa. And so if you decided to be Ghana for right now, because Ghana is the closest in terms of being on the West Coast, reach out to me. I'll give you the map. I'll show you the blueprint. I'll connect you to the right people, so that way things are easier and smooth for you, and that way you can enjoy.
Is there anything you want to close out with before the interview is done?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you again for allowing me to be on your platform. It's a pleasure being on here. I'm privileged to be here and giving me the opportunity to kind of talk things out. I want to let you guys know again, a few of my handles. So on YouTube is Jigga Vision, JIGGA Vision, VISION. And so I'm going to start loading my interviews, start having podcasts, communicating with those just like you guys who's actually been there or who haven't been to Ghana and why they want to go to Ghana or Africa as a whole. So check that my channel, subscribe, like, share, turn your notification button on so that way you can be on top of it and know exactly what's happening in Ghana as well. I'll also put news as well and information. My website, ShayJeanPaulLLC.com. Shay spelled CHEZJEANPAULLLC.com. There you can, if you don't want to do the consultation, you can just go right into chatting with me for a bit. We can go from there and then having those conversations. I'm also going to be uploading blogs and news information as well on there, so that way you guys can see what's happening in Ghana, what people are taking advantage of, and things of that nature. And so you guys can also, follow me on here on TikTok on this particular page here. I can't recall exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure you know.
As John Paul LLC.
There we go. Thank you, Shay Jean Paul LLC. So similar to my website, so follow me on here as well. I do have an Instagram. I can always, once you follow me on any of those channels or social media pages, you will see the IG as well. Those are my handles, guys. Again, very, very, very grateful and thankful, Ro, for allowing me to be on your platform once again. And guys, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Myself would love to go to Africa. That's one of the places that I have to get off my bucket list, most definitely. So I will be needing your services because, why not? If I'm going to be out there, why not just get my citizenship? Okay. And I do have a vision of doing so much more out there for the people that is out there. So I think that's incredible that you started a business that's not just about you, but it's about helping others do the same thing that you spent 3 years trying to do, y'all. Please, y'all, make sure y'all hit Chez Jean Paul with a follow. Guys, thank you for coming out to Standing on Business.
Before you go, real quick, guys, I know we're ending this. I just want to let you guys know an update too. Right now, for the past couple of years, they're doing this, but it's still in existence. They are offering free land to diasporas, and so it's just paying the fees. However, it is free land, and so again, all of that you can communicate with me. We can chop it up. I have those people also on rather, and so like I said, anything and everything is possible, and I'm the right person.
So do your business help people obtain land as well?
Everything.
And as well as building?
Yes. I get you to the right people. I get you to the right person, and giving you the steps and guidelines on how to do things the right way, so that way you don't get burned. Because of course, just like any other place in the world, there are some opportunists out there. And so, yes, I anything and everything you can think of that relates to Ghana, I can help.
Can you help me Roll? Can you help Roll find a husband in Ghana?
Oh, absolutely. I can get you and connect you to a prince. That I don't do, because that's all you. Sorry.
All right, that concludes our interview, guys. I will see you all later. Thank y'all for tuning in to Standing on Business or Role Model Fresh. And make sure you follow Ches John Paul, our first guest on our new show, guys. Okay, thank you, Mike. See you later.